What is going on, everyone? I'm glad I'm back with another video, and these videos are my favorite by far. I just feel like these videos I can really help some of you students out there, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's jump into it. The first thing you want to do, guys, is set your bald line like always. And again, this client, I'm gonna kind of contour the bald line and kind of drop it in the back. I just think with this client it looks so much better, and at the end of the cut, let me know what you guys think. If you think I should have went straight across, or if you think dropping it in the back really does look that much better. So another trick to setting this bald line in, excuse me, and making sure that it's not crooked or one side's not lower than the other and it meets up pretty good in the back, is in the middle of the back of the head, stop and then swing over to the other side, and I'll use the ear as the guideline, and I'll actually go look at the other side, see how high up I went on the ear, see where the line is on the C cup, and then I'll just meet the back, and that gives me the best way to make sure everything is even. Alright, now you don't necessarily have to do this unless the client specifically says, I want a skin fade. I prefer to do it because it just gives you another transition. It just makes your cut look cleaner. There's no stubble around the neck, and we're just basically skinning our client out with the shavers. Now, when you're using the shavers, make sure you are going down, going with the grain first, and then go against the grain, because if you just go against the grain and jam it into your client's head, first thing, it's going to irritate them, and second, it's going to put in these really harsh lines that are basically going to be impossible for you to take out. So make sure you go with the grain first and then go against the grain, and don't ever put pressure with these shavers. Just use it, let it glide against the skin, and you'll get the best possible results. So after you're done balding them out, the very first thing you want to do is take your clippers, open the guard all the way up, or open the lever all the way up, and set in your next guideline. Now go up about 1/4 to 1/2 inch from your bald line, and go over it a couple times. Make sure that you are getting it nice and clean. Make sure you're getting it to one length, and just set the guideline in all the way around the head. So one thing I like to do with this guideline is I like to get rid of it right away, just because this is gonna be the most difficult guideline to work with. It's gonna be the most time consuming. So as I'm doing these sections, you'll see me just knock out the line as I'm there, and for me, this helps me be faster. It might not help you, but if you try it and you might get something from it, that'd be awesome. So give it a shot. So now that we got rid of that first guideline, we don't have to worry about that again. That is done. So now you want to take your one guard and open the lever and set your next guideline in. Now this guideline can be a little higher than the other one, but make sure you are keeping it about a 1/2 inch to an inch, max an inch, and then just go up and run it over a couple times, and then I'll actually go back, close the lever, and use my corners. I know it's hard to tell, but I am using my corners, and soften that line up, because I'm gonna come back with the half guard, and once that line's softened, when I come back with the half guard, it is going to disappear, and it's going to be really easy to do. Alright, so now that we have our one guard open, guideline in, and we closed our one guard and softened that line up, you want to grab your 1.5 if you are using wall. If you're not using a wall, then it will be your 2 guard. I recommend, especially for a beginner barber, that you try to use wall just for their guard system. They have the 1.5, and it just makes it that much easier to blend. So here I'm using the 1.5 open, and then I'll go back and close it like I've done in every guideline so far. So it's basically just repetition. You want to make sure that everything is staying clean, that you know where you're at, and it's basically the same steps for every guideline. So here I'm about to use my 2 guard. I normally don't, but with this cut, I just wanted to clean up the bulk off the ridge of his head. So I'm not digging into his ridge. I'm going straight off of it, and it's basically almost already blending into his top hair. I mean, there'll be a little weight that I'll have to go back over and do some shear over comb, but it's almost already blended to the top of his head, which, you know, makes life so much easier as a barber. So you know, here the 2 guard is closed, so but the biggest thing is do not dig into his head. Alright, so now we're gonna work our way back down. This is the 1.5 guard. I believe it's closed, and I'm just cleaning up the line between the 1.5 and the 2, and then I'll grab my 1 guard open, and then I'll clean the line up between the 1 open and the 1.5 closed. And as you can see, I mean, I am just using my corners when I get down to the 1 guard and the rest of the way. I'm about to grab my half guard, and this definitely use your corners, you know, play with the lever. If you use the whole blade, you're totally committed, and you'll start digging in and create more lines. So if you use the corner, and if it's too short, you're not totally committed, so it's an easy fix. So definitely start with your corners and make sure that, you know, you're not digging in and creating other lines. So after I did all that, now I'm just gonna detail. I'll grab my 1 guard, my 1.5, my 1 open, and I'll just start detailing and figuring out you know, what needs to be cleaned up and how to make this side of the head finished. Alright, so now that side of the head's done. We're going to do the same exact steps to the back and the next side. I'm going to speed this part up just so, you know, this video is not so long. So try to keep an eye out on what I'm using, and I like to say, talk to yourself. Tell yourself what guard you think I'm using. Is a lever open? Is it closed? Am I using corners? And just try to you know, make yourself think about what I'm doing. Alright, now this is basically all detail work, and this is why I say you should only take about a half an hour on a bald fade, but allow yourself 40 minutes so you can spend that last 10 minutes really detailing your client's haircut and just making him feel like you really care, like you really want him to walk out of the barbershop with the best possible cut, and I'm telling you, they will love it. I'm just gonna saturate the top of his head with water. Now he doesn't really want length off the top, but I found it when I do my shear over comb to clean up the ridge of his head, that if the hair is wet, it cuts so much nicer. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm not perfect at shear over comb. I definitely am trying to practice to get my steel blade right, and it's tough. It's one of the hardest things that I've tried to get in the habit of, so don't make fun of my shear over comb work. And then after I do that wet, I do blow dry it, because when the hair is dry, it tells the truth. And so I let it fall where it naturally wants to fall, and then I'll go and clean those areas up. Alright guys, that is the cut. I'm just gonna clean up his C-cup, his beard, and just finish up this cut. But I wanted to say to the new watchers, if you are new to this channel and this is your first video, we do many videos like this and also other videos that has to do with barbering. We love anything barbering, and so if you are interested in any of that, I hope that you'll subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I definitely really appreciate all the support I get. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'm gonna try to get another video out next week, so stay tuned for that one, guys.